The economic landscape of 2025 continues to evolve, and millions of Americans are closely watching for any signs of financial relief as they battle inflation, high living costs, and stagnant wages. One of the most frequently asked questions is whether any new stimulus checks will be arriving this year and, more specifically, if former President Donald Trump or his allies are behind any upcoming economic relief proposals. Many households are feeling squeezed by the ongoing cost of living crisis, with rent prices at record highs, utility costs rising, and grocery bills showing no signs of relief. Against this backdrop, the conversation around new stimulus checks federally, statewide, or even locally has surged once again, and 2025 might still bring some hope to those who need it most. But before getting too optimistic, it's important to explore what's actually being proposed, what's confirmed, what's still in debate, and what Americans should really expect in their mailboxes or direct deposit accounts. In early 2025, there was renewed attention on a series of proposals linked to former President Donald Trump and his allies. One of the most talked about suggestions was what has come to be known as the DOGE dividend, a concept that quickly grabbed headlines after it was reported that Donald Trump, in collaboration with tech mogul Elon Musk, had floated the idea of a stimulus check funded by government efficiency savings. According to early drafts of the idea, the DOGE dividend would amount to approximately $5,000 per eligible American, drawn from budget cuts and savings identified by the newly proposed Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a fictionalized yet potentially symbolic agency aimed at slashing federal waste. The idea is rooted in the belief that if the government can save billions through automation, digital transformation, and AI, that money should be returned to the American people in the form of direct checks. While the idea stirred a lot of discussion and even some excitement among the public, it's important to note that this proposal has not passed any legislative hurdle and remains speculative at best. Nonetheless, its popularity on social media and political talk shows has helped push stimulus conversations back into the national spotlight. In parallel to Trump's proposed DOGE dividend, another policy concept drawing attention is the so-called Trump account, sometimes referred to by its legislative name as the MAGA, Money Accounts for Growth and Advancement, program. The Trump account would essentially provide a $1,000 government-funded deposit into a custodial savings account for every child born in the United States between January 1, 2025, and January 1, 2029. The account would grow over time through interest, with funds becoming available for major life expenses such as college tuition, first-time home purchases, or starting a business. While this program is not a traditional stimulus check aimed at immediate relief, it does aim to create long-term financial stability and wealth-building opportunities for future generations. The bill associated with this idea has already passed the House of Representatives and is currently under review in the Senate. If it becomes law, it will mark one of the first instances of a federally backed child investment account program of this scale in the United States. Supporters argue it's a necessary tool to close the wealth gap and empower the next generation, while critics worry about the cost and long-term sustainability of such a measure. While these national-level initiatives gain traction, it's important to recognize that a number of states have taken it upon themselves to deliver financial aid to residents in more immediate and tangible ways. In New York, for example, state officials have launched an inflation refund initiative that sends between $300 and $500 in direct payments to qualifying low- and middle-income residents. The money is intended to offset the impacts of inflation on essentials like food, gas, and utilities. Similarly, California has resumed its popular inflation relief payment program, with eligible households receiving up to $725 in one-time checks depending on income and household size. These state-level programs are administered through departments of taxation or revenue and often rely on previous tax filings to determine eligibility. They represent a practical and local approach to economic hardship while the federal government remains gridlocked on broader stimulus plans. Colorado is also offering substantial relief through its state budget surplus. Thanks to the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, or TABOR, residents are receiving rebates of up to $800 for individuals and $1,600 for married couples filing jointly. This initiative is expected to inject hundreds of millions of dollars into the Colorado economy and has been met with broad public approval. These payments are issued through the Colorado Department of Revenue and are automatically sent to taxpayers who filed returns in the previous year. Officials in the state have praised the program as a successful model of fiscal responsibility and public benefit, noting how well it has softened the blow of high prices for families and retirees alike. Pennsylvania is similarly contributing to the relief effort with its revamped property tax and rent rebate program, aimed at seniors, widows and widowers, and individuals with disabilities. The program offers checks between $380 and $1,000 to qualifying recipients and has already seen a surge in applications as more residents become aware of the opportunity. Outside of these state-level programs, local governments are also stepping up. In Los Angeles County, California, a program called Breathe is distributing $1,000 per month for 2 years to selected low-income residents as part of a guaranteed income experiment. The results so far have been promising, with recipients reporting greater stability, reduced stress, and the ability to make long-term plans. It is a sign that local leaders are willing to be creative and proactive in supporting vulnerable populations. Meanwhile, in Prince George's County, Maryland, a $2 million plan has been proposed to deliver emergency $1,000 stimulus payments to certain federal employees affected by temporary layoffs. This initiative is still in the planning stages, but it demonstrates that counties and municipalities are not waiting for federal approval to meet the needs of their constituents. Despite these various initiatives, the push for a national relief check is far from over. With a presidential election season heating up, economic policy is front and center in campaign messaging from both major parties. Former President Trump, in particular, has made stimulus and economic support a cornerstone of his platform. Beyond the DOGE dividend and Trump account, there have been references to potentially reviving earlier forms of stimulus, such as flat-rate direct payments to adults and dependents similar to those distributed during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Although no such bill has made it to Congress yet, insiders suggest that discussions are ongoing behind closed doors and that if Republicans retake both houses of Congress, such a plan could gain traction quickly. The idea of direct payments remains popular among voters, especially those in swing states, and campaign strategists are well aware of the political capital such a policy could generate. Of course, not everyone supports the idea of more stimulus checks. Critics argue that past stimulus packages contributed to inflation and strained the federal budget. Some economists suggest that rather than handing out money, the government should focus on improving job opportunities, reducing healthcare costs, and creating affordable housing. Others worry that the push for more checks could delay necessary conversations about long-term fiscal reform. Still, for many Americans struggling with stagnant wages and rising expenses, those arguments feel far removed from the daily struggle to make ends meet. To them, another round of relief, whether it comes from Washington, the state capitol, or the local mayor's office, could be the lifeline they need to stay afloat. Adding to the complexity is the role of new financial technology platforms that have begun partnering with local governments to distribute relief more efficiently. Digital wallets, prepaid debit cards, and mobile apps are being used to deliver payments quickly and securely to residents. These tools have not only improved accessibility but have also reduced fraud and administrative overhead. In some areas, residents can now sign up for local relief programs entirely online and receive their funds within days rather than weeks. This digital-first approach could serve as a blueprint for future stimulus delivery systems if and when the federal government decides to act. At the grassroots level, public advocacy for stimulus checks remains strong. Petitions calling for recurring monthly payments continue to circulate online, and town hall meetings across the country are seeing constituents demand action from their representatives. Social media campaigns have also helped to raise awareness and build momentum, with hashtags like Stimulus for Survival and Check for the People trending multiple times in recent months. Activists argue that the pandemic exposed deep cracks in the U.S. social safety net and that without ongoing support, millions will continue to fall through those cracks. Their voices are helping to shape the debate and keep pressure on lawmakers to take meaningful action. As the year progresses, more clarity will likely emerge on the future of relief checks. With election dynamics in full swing, both parties are expected to propose competing plans aimed at winning over key voter demographics. Whether these plans translate into real dollars for the American people remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the conversation about stimulus and financial relief is far from over. For now, Americans are advised to stay informed, follow updates from their state and local governments, and watch for any announcements from the IRS or Treasury Department regarding new programs or expanded benefits. The landscape is uncertain, but it's not without hope. Relief is coming in different forms and from different sources. From new state checks to federal proposals still in the pipeline, And from local guaranteed income experiments to digital distribution innovations, the system is evolving to meet new challenges. And while not every idea like the DOGE dividend or the Trump account is guaranteed to pass, their mere existence signals that stimulus remains a top-tier issue in American politics. As debates continue in the halls of Congress and across dinner tables nationwide, Americans can only hope that those in power choose to act before financial hardship deepens further. Stay alert, stay informed, and above all, stay ready because the next relief check may be closer than it seems.